Hello?
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey, hold on,
How
let
are
me
you?
turn my fan down so I can hear you better.
Oh, you're down.
Alright, now I can actually hear you a little better.
All right.
Now, go for it.
No, no, no. I mean, I've left open channel of communication for anybody who wanted to talk to me about any of this nonsense. And there are no sides as far as anything I know. I just keep on plugging along doing my thing. And what was blown very, very much out of proportion was simple communication and advice. No ultimatums, simply advice. And that advice was explained and explained prior. And you can pick one of the topics on down the line and ask those questions. You reached out to others to do interviews, and instead of reaching out to me, you decided to make a video. I'm really accessible. So when you make a video about me with ever even having a moment of contact, not an email, not a text, not a telephone call, not a intermediary, not anything, it's like, why is this guy doing this? And I don't know what's really going on here. I'm just going to kind of leave it alone. And I didn't go after you. This is the first time in my life I've ever reached out to you, had a communication with you, other than maybe a message here and there or mentioning your name on one of my live streams. But I directed no one to do anything to anyone. Honestly, people reached out to me time and time again via email, by a message, by professionals that I know and said, hey, man, do you want me to help you take care of this? I said, no, dude, leave it alone. Don't mess with anybody. Let everything work its way. And here I am being accused of being able to influence whether or not district attorneys prosecute charges or doing one thing or versus the other. I made one mistake one night where I shared a document that was filed on behalf of Nathaniel Plucker, Nasty Nate, and I contacted him immediately after doing it, and then went and took the video down, redacted that information, and let it be. And from that, there had already been an ongoing issue between a couple of people. Me, I was trying to keep the fire from getting too big. And I don't mind interpersonal issues. I don't care about that. As long as those interpersonal issues were not causing larger, bigger issues. But instead of really recognizing what was going on and not really paying attention to all the other players there was, between their parties and this party, dude, I'm not down like that. I've been in this game for quite a long time. Most of the time, recently was behind the scenes. I didn't even start making my own publicly known videos. All you heard was people calling, "Hey, call Felipe, call Felipe, call Felipe," and all of a sudden these people were getting out of handcuffs or getting released from cages. Many of the same people that, not even many of the same, just a couple of people that have benefited from it in the past. And when the situation kind of got twisted, I was just simply telling some people and giving them some sage advice. You don't have to take it or not. They took it completely the wrong way. But hey, man, that's on them. They still hold these issues. Somebody went out of their way. Now, I can tell you about being victimized by people between running up my crank calling my live stream, um, threatening to firebomb my home with my children inside, coming up. I'm making YouTube channels in my father's name, my name, my former home address, sending an email through 6 different servers to the FBI, telling the FBI that I paid auditors to go out and take pictures of military facilities and then turn around and sell them to terrorists. Yeah, I had to be interviewed by the FBI about that. Not as a suspect, but as a victim. So whoever sent that out there, whoever you may be, whether you're in the community or outside the community, they're fucking coming for you. They're coming for you. Trust me. The people that went out of their way, and understand this, I would love to sit down and talk to Lou Stefano to try, and I've talked to Richard Kroll, and I've had long conversations with Richard Kroll, and I was working out deals with other stuff with Richard Kroll. I even offered to sit down and do an intake interview with him to review his case, his old case, where he pled guilty to molesting his stepson, and sit down as intake and analyze his case, because the story he told publicly is very different than the record that was told. And I only went that way on the guy and not helping the guy any longer, only after he attacked me and attacked my wife, claiming that we took his pittance of money for work that we had done. And so this snowballed, and all of a sudden this guy now, he's gaining attention from people that also have some animus towards me. And so now the enemy of your enemy is now your friend. Well, none of these motherfuckers are my enemy. I don't spend any time worrying about what they're doing or how they're doing it or who they're doing it with. or anything as such. But apparently, people got a lot of time on their hands that try to plug in stuff into their brain as if it would be my brain. Understand this. I have no desire to control others. I'm an anarchist. I don't believe anyone should answer to anyone. I believe in individual freedom to the ultimate, up until the point of you interfere with my rights. And so that's what's going on there. So, and many people confuse my passion and the way I talk with being an asshole or being a dick or something like that. Why don't you just get to know the person versus just making these hollow evaluations without any basis in fact. The majority of people that have issue with me don't even know me, but there's others that have benefited from my actions. The majority of these people that are in this activism today, all the biggest channels in here, I've been working with those people for years, whether it be Philip Turner, David Warden, and on and on and on and on and on. And so I don't understand, even John Olson and these other guys. I only started having issues with people, and I really only worked with Patrick Ross for a minute, up until his veracity came into question. Veracity, for those who have a large vocabulary, is his inability to tell the truth. And he had an inability to tell the truth, and I confronted him about it. Now, people were coming and telling me, saying, "Hey, you can't be being critical of others." Listen, either you believe in my right to free speech as I believe in your right to free speech, but my free speech is based upon truth and my experiences. And any warnings that I gave to others now loosed upon us, trying to figure out, well, Richard Kroll's a bad guy. No shit, Dick. I was warning you about that for months. For months. For what do you think, predatory behavior stops because it was 25 years ago? No. And no, because I saw the stuff the guy was doing. I was getting phone calls from people telling me how my friend, High Desert Community Watch, Philip Hernandez, was a bad guy. Most people don't know I knew the guy since the beginning of him doing auditing. When he got arrested, the very first time he was arrested, his son's calling me on the phone when we're living out in the desert. I mean, I've known this guy, I know his whole family for years. And so I got some guy trying to tell me that Felipe Hernandez is talking shit behind your back. I'm like, listen, let me tell you this. Let me tell you very clearly. You're not only insulting my good friend, but you're insulting me. So please, go kick rocks. And that was John Olson. And this is after John Olson had the issue with people in Texas talking about his protest at the MDC after the 11/20/2017 incident. A lot of people had this incident. SAXG Perez made a post in his Facebook deal about auditor groupies. And who was in defense of him? Me. I was defending him for his individual right to do whatever he wanted to do up until the point that he suffered the consequences for his actions. I wasn't telling him what to do. Even when the first time Zoe Perez, Furry Potato, came out there, she came on out there, she had a knife on her, some other bullshit. I'm like, hey, take the fucking knife off. You don't need to be coming out here auditing or having any encounter with an officer where they now have an excuse to put hands on you. So, come on. And so these are the advice and things that I give you. I don't tell people what to do. I don't tell people how to do shit. I try to give you advice to keep you out of a cage. And if you follow that advice and you find yourself in a pinch, I'll be more than glad to help you. Now, even in some cases, I don't even know who you are. People call me, hey, Jose Macanas isn't a real person. The cops got him. Well, give me the information. Let me see what I can figure out. And get on the phone without a retainer agreement or a penny sent my way. I'm on the phone trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. So all of a sudden, I'm a bad guy for doing that?
Hold on. Are you watching the chat at the same time here?
I'm not watching the chat at all.
Okay,
I don't watch the chat when I do a live stream.
Honest Gas just said something that is absolutely true. He just said, every time you mention Felipe Hemming in a negative fashion or in any fashion at all, he gets new subscribers. The people who hate Felipe most are the ones who get him the most promotion, which is true. You know,
not really. Well, not really, because what it does is people look at that and see, I get these phone calls from people that I work with in the community, and they ask me and say, hey, man, what the fuck's going on? I said, dude, I couldn't even tell you. I don't even know these people. These people that make derogatory videos about me, to include yourself, I don't know you. This is the first time in my life I ever talked to you.
Yeah, but you know what? I made that
about you, unless you've used a sock puppet account to interact with me or called me on the phone.
No, what I've done is I've sat in your channel perfectly quietly, not saying a damn thing, and I've done this many times, and people are in there talking shit about me that don't even know me, and not once did you step up and say, hey, stop.
I don't read the chat.
So what's the point of doing a damn live stream if you don't?
As commonly known, and we actually had a policy with my moderators that would be no shit talking about anybody.
You know what? Your moderators kick out anybody that says anything remotely negative about you. It could be something about your hair is out of place, and your moderators kick them out and block them, hide them. They do it every damn time. So, and not only that, but now they're doing it in other channels, like what just happened with me.
No. Listen. I am not responsible for anyone else's actions. No more are you responsible for.
But don't you think you should, if all these people are doing this shit under the guise?
No, listen, Brian. I have gone back multiple times, gone through my deal, and unloaded all this. You can ask all these sock puppet trolls or all the other people that have come to my fucking channel and had their ability to come in and be honest again. I've done it multiple times, over and over again, and I don't care what is the fucking keystroke. It's a keystroke, so people are gonna get all ass hurt about fucking somebody keystroking them. Come on, dude.
No, but my point is this:
baby bullshit.
all these people.
I don't even read the chat.
Okay, well then let's forget about your stream for a second. Let's all forget about your stream. Let's look at all these people who walk around under the guise of being on Felipe's side. Whether you agree with them or not, that's not the point. You are still considered to be the figurehead of a side.
Where's this flag at? Where's the Black Coat Media flag? That's a channel on YouTube and a media outlet. There's no names on there anymore. All those names are gone. There is no fucking auditor channels. There's no I share content. That's all I do. Now, this is something that others have created. We don't have a mighty team.
Why don't you step in and stop it?
And everybody fucking else.
Why don't you go in? Why don't you step in and stop it? Now, Batusai offered you a chance to try to squash it.
Brian, listen very carefully. I have a business to run. I don't live on YouTube. I have a 2-hour stream I do, and on occasion I listen to live streams on occasion. I go to channels and I review content for pushing stories in media. I'm not in it for likes, views, friends, any of that shit. I'm here to get the message out from this source to other sources and cross-platform between my Facebook account and my YouTube account. I've managed YouTube accounts for years to include Photography's Not Crime, YouTube account, PNAC News' YouTube account, and only thing I brought my YouTube account online for was to share content to a media outlet.
That's not the point. Why don't you let me finish for a second before you cut me off? You could take all of this, whether you believe it or not, whether you wanted it or not, whether you asked for it or not, you are still a figurehead to a bunch of people.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. And why don't you go to all these people and all these...
Where was the coronation ceremony, Brian? You're saying things are complete.
You are not that naive, dude.
Your own mind, that you people have gone together and put in your own minds that Felipe's in fucking charge of anybody.
Okay, what about all the people that do things in your name then? Why aren't you telling them to stop?
Oh my God.
Why aren't you banning them from your channel? Why aren't you using your two... You know what? How about the whole quote-unquote dude,
I will clear the decks, and I clear the decks on the regular.
You are not.
Move on.
Not that naive, man. You know there are people. I'm not naming names on purpose.
Fucking assumptions. You're
really?
Using your brain and assuming
No.
what you would know. You have no idea what my daily life is like.
Open the chat.
You have no idea what I got going on. You have no idea what I pay attention to or don't pay attention to. I sure the fuck don't even pay attention to the chat, dude. I do on a very rare occasion when I'm in between stories or there's a video going on, and I'll look at the chat. Most of the time I don't look at the chat at all because it's a lot of times a lot of hellos and how are you doing and a lot of shit talking. I don't care. That's not my stream. The stream is not the chat. If it were, it would be being shown. So if people get all butthurt about their being blocked, it's really simple. blackcoatmedia@gmail.com, felipe.hemming@gmail.com, or 888-571-5535. And if you don't have that number, my number's known to a lot of other people. You don't have to call that.
See, you just want to brush it off like it's not. It doesn't exist. You keep saying, "Where's the coronation? Where's this? Where's that?"
You're sick of all this crap.
Dude, if there are
over and over again.
There are hundreds. Oh my God! Shut up for a minute and let me talk. Shut up for a minute. How many people out there? There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that believe on this whole side bullshit. That's why it's there to begin with. If you don't believe me, do a damn poll.
I think there's about maybe 10 people.
No, dude, there's 50 people in this channel alone that'll say it. You kidding me?
There's so many people. There's lurkers in here. Look at your live chat and press those three little buttons and see how many people are participating. And you have
Yeah, I can see how many people are
50 some odd
participating.
people.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
I watch
Okay,
my chat, so I
good
see.
for you. Good for you, Brian. Good for you.
I'm trying to squash this shit, and you want to
Good for you. You do it for interaction. I'm not in it for the interaction. I'm here to share.
No,
the
you're in it for the
content. That's the
recognition.
difference.
You're in it for the
I'm not here to
recognition.
No, I'm not here to direct anybody. I'm not here to lead anybody.
You know,
how the fuck am I an anarchist? Want to rule people? My name's not Jesus. Ain't nobody out doing shit in my fucking name.
Okay, so you're okay with all these people doing this under the guise of Felipe's side, and
don't do that.
Don't do what?
Let's play this game. I'm gonna go ahead and make a loaded question and say, well, then you're okay with that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I address it.
You're making this massive.
I address it
with a real question. Say, hey, Felipe, are you okay with this? And the answer is no. Then why aren't you doing that?
I asked you that. I said, are you okay with it?
And I'll do something about it. If you bring it to my attention, I will do something.
Oh my God, it's been brought to your attention a million goddamn times. Every single time you enter a channel. Okay, let's really. So the 100 and something people that said it that day in Batusai's channel.
Show me.
No, unlike you, I don't name names.
You make these grand statements about all.
I just said. Oh my God, shut up. Why don't you do a damn poll or something for once instead of just assuming?
I don't give a fuck. You seem to care more about it than I do, but yet you don't.
No, I care because there's people.
Why then move on about it?
Anyways, anyone else want to call in? Hello?
Hey, this is Daniel Gertz.
Oh, I can barely hear you, man.
This is Daniel Gertz.
Apparently, it's just one of those little trolls calling. $7. So at any rate, I try to give him. You guys all know this, okay? Everybody knows this whole stupid side bullshit exists because of him. Everybody's heard the. I just gave him a chance to talk. He doesn't even want to listen. All he wants to do is cut me off. All he wants to do is babble on instead of letting me speak. I didn't get to finish a single sentence in that entire conversation. Not one. So, you can keep trying to call back, dude. I know how to hit end.